Welcome everyone again to the Your Little Castle Show. Gary Moss has stuck around here to hang out with us for another half-hour discussion. The first half hour, just a completely unique show we did there because, and every show is unique. Obviously, there's different discussion, but when we really got into the reason this all happens, the reason it comes together, the higher powers that influence and make things happen, Gary and I are on the same page with all that, and there's a lot that goes into that. Here we're going to get into about how he does the work and some of the technology, some of the things he's dealt with in the past. So with that, we'll dive right in here because I want to be able to show off some more. We do have a slideshow prepared now to show a lot of Gary's work, so we'll take a look at all that too. So with that, Gary, welcome again here for the second half of our interview. He's like, we're going to do another half hour. I said, yeah, Gary, you earned it, man. You know what you're doing. So tell me then, as we get into the discussion about technology, how has technology, and some people, they automatically think computers or phones or whatever, but you talked about it back when you were first doing this. You were using the old regular hammer, right?
Yep.
And now that's a technology upgrade. And you said when you first started working with nail guns, the nail guns were 30 pounds, and those have even evolved now, but you can outperform those, I think you were talking a little bit about. Tell me about how technology has made a difference, especially when it comes to equipment and related stuff.
Well, technology has a lot of advantages, like with the routers, and you're making your Roman augutes. I have. The routers and the designs, everything, it makes great for the trim and the baseboards and all that. The table saws, I mean, all that, and the drill presses and the chop saws and all that. Has made it a whole lot faster, all right, a whole lot faster to do the work, and the design aspect of it. But as far as labor-wise, it's still the same as labor-wise go. But yeah, technology is great. I really don't know how to answer that, but all I know is I just do the work.
Well, you've seen it. Somebody's been doing this since 1982, everybody. You can see that on our title there on the screen. There, take a look. But and before that, when you were working with your dad and as a kid and all that. But I mean, you can see the revelations. I mean, the different types of saws and the way things are measured. Now we do laser measures instead of, I still break out my regular tape measure, but you can now point your cell phone at a wall and say, oh, it's 13 feet 5 inches, right? Mm-hmm. Have those things made it easier, or sometimes you got to double check there, or what is your perspective on those?
When it comes to that, I'm not that smart. I ain't never used a phone yet. I always use a tape measure. Yeah.
But you like to do it old school then. Yeah. And it's worked.
I like using the bobcats and the mini excavators and stuff like that instead of the shovel.
Right. Yes, I can imagine. A bobcat, I mean, holy cow, yeah. Versus a shovel, I mean, how much more efficient. But when was the first time you used some heavy moving equipment like that? Heavy machinery, as they say.
Yeah, I was building high rises when I was 23 years old for Dunbar Engineering, and bobcats, front end loaders, all that, and I was 23 years old. Yeah, okay. I did that for 2.5 years, building high rises.
And were those kind of a new revelation back then, or had they been around for a while, but that was the first opportunity you had to work with them, or?
I learned when I was operating the crane setting trusses when I was 19 years old. They just told me not to be afraid of anything. And they had the old big sky tracks lifted up wall panels on 3 stories high, apartment complexes and stuff like that. So it don't take long once you're not afraid of it to figure it out for those things, yeah.
Well, yeah. So that's a matter of this. That kind of comes with the territory. You've got to get out there. You got to learn the new equipment. You got to learn the new methods, and so you're constantly improving. Like anything else in life, you're constantly improving, constantly upgrading, constantly making changes to make things more efficient. So you can get. The story you told me earlier though was interesting because did you outperform the nail gun itself? You were running that out.
Oh yeah.
But you could with a hammer you were more effective.
Tack, bang, yeah.
And you could do that and you had 100. You had the nails turned in your hand, and guys were watching you and they're like, you're gonna save him a lot of money. Is that just a matter of dedication to skill, or are you just thinking of ways to always improve?
That's from doing it so much, because they didn't have framing guns back then, so we hand bang.
Right.
So yeah, tack bang, tack bang, tack bang, and tack it in and sink it home one hit.
Yeah. One hit. Yeah. Because these nails, these are how long?
3 1/4 inch nails, 16 penny nails. Yeah.
Okay. He knows his stuff. They're like 3 1/4, 16 penny. Yeah. I mean, when you're actually out there hammering, that's something that you've got to be accurate on. You can't afford to miss with that, right? It throws everything off. But this is with your background and your experience, your confidence, right? some divine intervention there coming through. God says,
Oh, it's
hey,
still all God, yeah.
this is going to be laid out for
Still
you.
all God, yeah.
Well, tell me why you feel that's so important and how that affects your business.
When you do it so much with God, it's 100%. But when you do this stuff so much, you don't make 5 times as many steps, especially for framing. You know, when I stand the wall, it's plumbing line. I ain't got to go back and run a string line or anything else. I don't lay out all my plates at one time and then move the plates out of the way and then go back and frame. When I lay a plate out, I frame it, I stand it, and then I put my braces on. It's plumbing line. So yeah, it cuts time in half, way in half.
Okay, and these are some pretty intense skills. I mean, to be able to put these kinds of things together, to not have to use a plumb, to not have to run lines, it's just from years of experience or some talent on loan from God, as I've heard quoted
I can
before?
do it at the torpedo level.
Torpedo level. What
That's
does that
in my
mean?
nail back. It's just a little level like that. It does everything a 4-foot level does. When you do enough of it, you know.
Okay. So us computer nerds like myself here, we got all these computer technologies and all these fun things that we do, but somebody that's got the skill from the labor perspective, how many years of experience? How long did it take you before you became so confident and so good at what you do?
Well, 19 setting trusses was pretty easy. Yeah, I guess about for the framing. When you're taught it as a young kid and everything else, my dad always told me get your steps down. You don't whatever in front of you do first. You don't go 20 feet over here and do that and then come back to where you were at. So that's how I was taught. Same way with framing. I'll plumb and line it while I'm right there, and I don't have to come back through and run a string line and plumb and line with other guys, what have you. It's real fast and easy, just plumb and line right there while you got the wall in your hand. You know, nail guns, there's tricks to it. You know, there are nail guns there, everything's there, right there in my hand. So yeah, there's tricks to it.
So how much of this was on the job training, or was there any specific training, or just years of experience? So how do you learn most of this?
Working with my dad. I had to go get a union card on one job from McBride and Sons out here back then. I got my journeyman, never studied for it or anything. I just went and took the test and got my journeyman carpenter's card when I was 23. And I did a bunch of work by scabbing and, you know.
Okay.
I made $70, $80 an hour then, because nobody could put on. Most of the guys couldn't put a 5 square on a 10, 12, and 12, 12 in one day, and I could do 10 or 12 square a day.
There you go. I'm not sure what that exactly means, but that means a lot of work getting done. You're doubling what the average person was doing, I guess.
Oh, absolutely.
At least.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. And do you think was it most of this is experience more valuable, or is it the training, or the combination of those two?
Yeah, I think it would be the combination. My dad always teach me do what's right in front of you. Carry something coming and going. He drilled that into me at a very young age. I couldn't get nothing done with my hammer at 9 years of age, off over on the side of the slab instead of right there with me. So yeah.
Okay. Always, whenever you're walking out, carry something coming and
going.
going. Never have an empty hand, right?
My mind's always going when I'm on the job. You know, at that time now, but now when God comes into play, He makes everything a lot easier. That was at that age then, yeah. At that age then.
Okay. Well, tell me the process. If somebody says, Gary's the man, I want to work with Moss Construction, what's the process for somebody to start working with you? Do they just give you a phone call and you say, let's have a little meeting, we'll talk about it? How do people get started?
I haven't ever even thought of that. Everything for me is waiting on me. You know,
Okay.
all I do is walk into it, you know.
But I mean, at least somebody's got to call you to coordinate a little bit and say, hey, Gary, I want you to do the job.
That's what
But
they
even that, you
do.
think it's kind of laid out for you, huh?
That's what they do. But see, I got contractors before I even get there. The price is already set, you know.
Gotcha.
And yeah, the price is already set. Usually, I give the homeowners a whole lot cheaper than what price is set at. Yeah.
Okay. So you're there to save people money, but still give them high quality, and this just comes from
absolutely.
years of
Absolutely.
experience and a little intervention.
And I'll
from
make good money too.
Right. Okay.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I've seen his truck. He does well. We've seen the work you do. People are very happy with the work that you've done over the years. And tell me then, what is the most satisfying thing you do about your job? What do you enjoy most about this? Is this getting people a beautiful home to live in? And...
Right. It's never the same, you know, and it's always good work, and they're happy. It's never the same. Not one job is ever the same. You know, different designs on everything. Everything always comes out different, and they're happy. Homeowners are happy. They're really happy. A lot of times they get aggravated about the money, you know, and because I make good money, but and I tell them to get the bids from other contractors, and then when they did, and my bid's half than what theirs is, but I still make good money. Sometimes they think I cheated them. Because God's good. God blesses me. God blesses me. Yeah.
Well, that's a strong belief in the higher power, and I think it contributes to your success and why you've done so well.
Oh, absolutely.
And obviously, very many happy customers. Tell me, what's a challenge that you often run into when you're working with a client, when somebody's got some questions for you? What is the first thing that comes up that they want to have more information about so they can understand what you're doing?
Is the design, and a lot of times when I'm doing a job, and a lot of times blueprints aren't right and what have you, and then I get jobs where they're adding bathrooms on in their historical houses and stuff like that, and some people say it can't be done, and like the one I'm on now, I'm putting the third bathroom in, and to make the plumbing work, I had to put Colford ceilings up in the dining room and in the kitchen to make the plumbing work to where it needs to go to the main stack. So I created Colford ceilings, which created a whole lot more different designs and better looking and everything else to get the bathroom upstairs. Everybody else said it couldn't be done, but the Colford ceiling hides the plumbing.
Now, what is it? What did you call it? A Colford?
Colford ceiling.
What does that mean? Is that
it's like a squares that goes in squares, and you got studio lights coming down in each one of them.
Okay.
In between each square. It's a design.
And that was something outside of the blueprints that you had to add to make it work.
There was no blueprints on this job. It's
Okay.
I created
You got that mental picture in your
the
mind.
mental picture in it, yeah. But actually, that come from God. That part of it came from God with that right there, and yeah, it did. And so that
Okay.
part of it did. But I've done them many times before too.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. If you've got somebody who has the insightful perspective that Gary brings to the table, years of experience, a little intervention from the higher power above that's kind of guided you through this, and I think that you attribute a lot of your success to his guidance.
Oh, absolutely, all of it.
All of it.
Sometimes my mind will get in there, and I'm not perfect, and want to try to take glory. But then when I realize that I've done something wrong here, and it don't take long to realize it, I go and ask God for forgiveness for that. Personal inventory is what they call it. I take an inventory at the end of the day to see because sometimes I answer questions not knowing if that's the right answer or not. And then I believe it to be, and then find out and it's not like that all the time, just sometimes. So, I'm a perfectionist, and if I make a mistake, I really, it bothers me. Okay, it make me think that I've done something wrong, but that's.
Well, accidents happen. There's times that things have to be updated or changed, and so you just find a way to make that always come through. How often do you have something go wrong, and the customer doesn't even know that it happened, but you've already fixed it?
All the time.
Okay. Yeah.
All the time. But it always comes out good. Okay, it always comes out good. It's just during the process. That's just me. That's just me.
Okay. And this is again, with the insight that you seem to bring to the table, something that you can offer that allows you to make these projects look good. Again, we're about to jump into the slideshow here, everybody. We're going to show off a bunch of Gary's work. But as we continue here, I wanted to ask a couple more questions. What is one of the biggest things that people have concerns with when they're getting this done? Does it always come down to price or cost, or hey, have you done this before? I mean, what is the biggest question somebody has when you're talking to them about doing work for them?
Basically, the time and the cost, and it'd be about time and cost, and how many years I've been doing it, stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Time and cost and experience that you bring to the table. I guess those are things that I would imagine. Well, given your record, given your background, and a little support from above, there's nothing is there any time you feel like this is a job I can't do? Have you ever?
Oh, no, I don't. I tell them I can do any job. My dad taught me that. He said no matter how big the job or how many of them there is, he said don't look at that. You'll melt. Right. Man, I learned that a long time ago.
All right.
So I don't look at the jobs. I framed houses by myself, 5,400 square foot houses and everything. 6 weeks I rented SkyTrack and had one guy, a carpenter, with me, but SkyTrack eliminates 3 or 4 laborers. It does all your heavy sets of trusses, everything, the I-beams, all, but.
Really?
Yeah.
This is called a SkyTrack.
SkyTrack. It's like a forklift, but it raises up 3 stories high.
Okay. Is it the thing with the scissors thing that goes up? Or
No. It's like a forklift. It's called SkyTrack.
Okay. Interesting. We're learning a lot here, everybody, because Gary has such a background that's kind of just you get blown away. What do you think built your confidence for you? Was it the experience you gained, a little divine intervention there that your dad helping you develop the skills over the years? What do you think gave you the confidence that you have there to do this kind of work?
Well, just knowing that with the experience with the people that I've worked for, that none of us ever been the same, but by the time it's done, everybody's happy.
Yeah, well,
I never do nothing the same. I never. I mean, I've framed 40,000 square foot houses, our apartments rather than condos, and 5,400 square foot houses and all that, and nothing's never the same. You know, done a bunch of Cracker Jack houses, 1,400 square foot ones, and nothing's never the same.
Still okay. Does that create the excitement for you? So there's every day is something new for you. You don't like having.
Oh, right. It's challenging.
Mundane.
I like that part because I never do nothing the same. I like that. Yeah. I mean, it's still the same work, labor, like everything else, but the designs and all that is never the same.
Okay.
It's never the same.
Does that add to the excitement? Does that add to the confidence? A little bit of everything. What do you enjoy most about it not having to be the same mundane process all the time?
Not doing the same thing over.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, as humans, we'd like to see something that we can be creative with. And that's what we're going to dive in here in just a second and show off a lot of your work. We got about 12 minutes left here to talk about this. How do you feel, though, as a matter of somebody who's a God-fearing man, what do you feel like you do to contribute most to the community and the people around you? You're obviously, or do you hire some guys to help you, obviously, and you can provide some employment, but you're also giving a house to somebody that can now, someplace they can live, something they can really enjoy and appreciate. What do you get the most satisfaction from in helping the community?
Helping people. I'm setting up Oxford houses for women and kids and for men also. But it seems like when I talk about that, I don't really like talking about that because it seems like I'm. But no, I help out a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got to feel good about what you're doing because you are contributing to. So
Right.
This is where people spend most of their time, most of their energy, is at the house with the family and the kids, and so you're really helping to develop a lot of that for people, and makes it a very important part of our community. Well, let's jump in here, if you will. I'm going to put up on the wall. We'll go back to our wide shot here, so you can see Gary's new Facebook page. We've got his website takes you to see a lot of his work there. But on the wall here behind us now, we're going to jump in, and I'll go. There's the back wall. So this is our slides we have for everything so far on the show. There we go. And so let's start diving in here. Tell us a little bit. This is a new roof you did.
Yes, sir. That roof was a 10, 12, 12, 12, 55 square. I tore it all off myself and had to pack the shingles up there on there and put the shingles down with the Venter Ridge and everything else. It took me 17 days on that one, not counting the weekends though, and 3 of those days was rainy days. But yeah, that God gave me the strength for that right there.
And it seems you obviously know a lot about your job. You do down to the hours and days, how many squares this thing took to get done.
Right.
That's how the kind of detail you pay attention to your jobs, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. Well, tell me then, as we continue on here, I'm going to put this up for everyone to see as well. We got 2 slides for this one. There's some cabinetry going in here. So is this a bathroom? The kitchen you're working on here that you're going to finish for somebody?
Yeah, that was for a buddy of mine. I've done over a couple hundred kitchens and baths. That's for a buddy of mine, like one of those service works I really don't like to share. But yeah, I did that for him real cheap and put all that in there. I had to gut it out, move the gas lines and some electrical wiring, and there's a little island over here somewhere, I believe it was, on this one here. And then put the stove and all that in there. Yeah.
I mean, when you boil down everything that you've got put into these things, you're doing a little bit of everything here. The kitchen, bath, roof, siding, indoor, outdoor decks. Let's carry on here a little bit as we get more. Here's the other side of that kitchen. I'll let everybody see that and take a look there. So here we get a little closer. Now the appliances are getting put in here. Pretty much all that's left here to do is the countertops. Is that true?
Yeah. I put the appliances and everything in there, and the wiring and the gas lines and I'm a master carpenter. I do everything from the weather pole to the weather head throughout the whole house, even the foundations and what have you. Yeah, that like I said, that's for a friend of mine, more so service work.
Okay. There you go. Well, again, dynamite looking stuff here as we continue on here. I want to share a little bit more with everybody here. Tell me what's going on here. This is a nice looking, this is the finished kitchen. Tell me what went on here.
The guy wanted to keep the backsplash, so he cut the backsplash in, and I did everything on this one also. The plumbing, the electrical was already there. I had to reroute the plumbing, and what is it? Yep, that one there. And there was an island off another peninsula on this one somewhere over here on the other side of that one there too.
Okay. Well, lots of detailed work that goes into these. There's a lot of just you have to calculate almost every bit of what goes into this.
Oh, absolutely.
Obviously.
Okay. Yeah.
Share me. You're taking a picture here of yourself, taking a picture of a. Tell me what was special about this one.
This was the lady I'm working for now, and this is a 450,000 square foot house. This is the third bathroom in this building here. I was getting the distance from the height from here to there, and the isometric on the lights and what have you, and the same way with the on the bottom of the. And I was taking a picture of it for her, and she wanted to raise it a little bit higher, but I didn't agree with her because of the distance between the top of the tile and I did everything in this: the tile, the wiring, the bath, the plumbing, and everything on it. It's a 110-year-old home. Had to gut it out and have knob and tubing in it, and had to gut it out and do everything new on it.
We have a knob and tube system in our house down in Fayette. Is that something that should be replaced, or can you continue to use that?
Well, yeah, you can continue to use it if it ain't been all rotted out by now. but
Okay.
But on these new ones, I take it all out. I think that's my 17th building I've done with this one here. We take it all out and put new plumbing, new electrical, everything. And we keep the main stack though. You know.
Can you? Okay.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
that'll save some.
I tied into the main stack there with PVC.
Gotcha. Cool. So you do some decks too.
Yeah, that was a red cedar deck I did out in 67 Lindbergh in that subdivision out there. There's actually like 150 decks still to do out there, but the homeowners association liked the way that mine was built, and the ones that they had other contractors there was falling apart within 5 years. But then COVID set in and what have you. But yeah, there's a bunch of those. So you can see right there, there's like 150 homes that don't have decks on them out there.
Okay.
And they wanted me to do the
next
decks
door
on
you're
them.
saying right there.
Yeah,
too.
you can see them. That's sliding glass door. You come up off the side of it right there. Yeah, too. What's it? Which one?
Yeah, behind me there. Okay, I got you. So, and are people still doing cedar decks as a primary, or people do treated, or you get a lot of people to do the Trex, or what is your favorite?
Yeah, I do a
deck in your field?
lot of cedar tone now, but that was red cedar. The material on that alone was $12,000, but that was something I had already, and I just gave it to them for a cedar tone deck to also.
Okay. And the cedar lasts as long, or has it got to be treated, or?
The cedar tone that's now, you ain't got to paint it or anything for 2 years, but the longevity of them is anywhere from 40 to 60 years. So, but yeah, the sun will. I cut my own balusters to make them a lot stronger than what you get at Home Depot and what have you. And within 6 months, whatever is warped out, go back and change it out and what have you. And then because the sun does things to it. Yeah.
Sun is the enemy of the deck.
Yeah, it depends upon where your deck's at. If you ain't got much sun, you got it made.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and decks are.
Yeah, I cut those stairs in and everything on it. I cut in stairs and all that. Cut in trusses.
I snuck this one out of one of the videos you had, and this shows us a little bit of some of that tile. That's some great looking tile finishing off the bathroom.
That was very expensive tile in that bathroom. Yeah.
Tell me why was this? Was this one of your favorite jobs? Is this something? This was pretty cool looking.
Yeah, again, I never do nothing the same. This is the first time I've done one of these right here on the plumbing, and it all comes out real good. That was higher end tile on this one here, and they're 2 foot by 4 foot on that one there. Yeah, and I think this one here was when I built the shower floor up on it instead of having a base tile base to come out there. Like I did the base itself myself. I built the base and what have you, and did the tile on the floor also. But yeah, I like those. I like that. Yeah.
That's a good. Yeah, that was a good looking one. That's why I wanted to bring that up for you there. Well, that's just a little bit of the work Gary's got. You can take a look at his. I'll put up on the wall here also his new fan page, and you can see there Moss Construct. Do a search for him right there, and he's got a number of a lot of these same pictures are out there and room for many more. But Gary and I together worked on this page just a little bit to see a little bit about what he has going on, and you can see when you get into. Oops, let me see if it lets me go to the albums. There we go, and so. Yeah, we've got a whole album out there, but we'll let you take a look at all the work that Gary's got because, again, something that takes a lot of time and energy, and Gary spends a lot of time to put these things together with that. So as I continue over here, I want to show everybody one more picture. This is the screenshot we've got and to finish up your slides. So tell me, Gary, what brings you the most joy for doing all this stuff? When you boil this all down, you've got some divine intervention here. Something that you talked about. The Spirit talks to you a little bit. Do you feel that when you're doing your work, this is helping you to continue with the passion you have to help people?
Oh yeah, I usually ask God when I'm there, what's the main reason I'm here for?
Right. What are we all here for, right?
Right. Yeah.
To serve a higher power and do good.
Yeah. Oh, I get great satisfaction out of it. Absolutely. It's what I love to do. And then when I see people that are asking God questions, sometimes God will just reveal to me what's going on. But usually most of the time I have to go in and just wait and ask, and then it gets revealed to me. But yeah, sometimes he tells me before I get there.
How much do you feel has this all been led to you by God, do you think? That it's allowed you to this point? Since you've been doing it for so long, could you see yourself ever do anything else?
Do it work-wise?
Yeah.
I love what I do. One time I have to do what God tells me to do, and then I love this work.
Do you see yourself ever doing anything different? Did you ever feel like you could have been somewhere else?
I really don't want to, but God's will means telema, which means purpose and being, and I know my calling, and I really don't want to say that now, but for right now, I'll operate in this permissive will.
Okay, but you kind of were guided here. Your dad kind of put this into your path, and you said stick with it. And
I know it had to be all God. I know it's all God because, like I said, I'd seen you already before I got here.
Really?
So yeah, I didn't know. That's why I asked questions.
Okay.
So yeah.
And there's all the work that you do kind of goes along with that, right? And then you see
everything's waiting. All this platform, everything's waiting on me. I don't, I only made 7th grade now, so I don't know how to talk very much, but I do know construction.
Obviously, yeah.
So yeah.
And then every day you wake up, this is what you get to do. God has put this on you, and this is what you. How do you feel you best serve people by doing this?
Best serve people, it just being honest, helping people, serving people, just being honest. I mean, I wonder. That's just it. That's all I come up with, just being honest.
Be honest, put forth the hard work, and do it. Go the path that God has allowed you, right?
Well, yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Well, it's kind of God puts it out there for you. It seems like you're.
But He does it on everything. It's just, I don't know if my mind would want to try to take glory out of that or what have you. I don't know. I just got stumped. I don't know. That's just it. I like what I do. People get a lot of enjoyment out of what I do for them, and work-wise and all that. The end result is always liked.
Well, it seems very fulfilling with what you get to do, and ultimately, you are making an impact for everybody here with all the hard work you do. Stay tuned, Gary. We appreciate you, man. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Giddy up.